Good evening. That's our 30 seconds. Welcome to Free Thinkers. Welcome to the show. It is another Tuesday episode of Free Thinkers. Today is June
21st.
21st. Man, it's about to be July already. We got a good conversation tonight. We have some very cool topics that have been posted to the Free Thinkers Facebook group channel. So if you're like, what is tonight's topic? That's what Pick a Post is. Pick a Post is we literally just go through the Facebook group page and we just pick posts of stuff that people have put on there. Some things have already been discussed by a bunch of group members and some things maybe had been missed. Doesn't matter. We just pick interesting stuff and we talk about the stuff that you guys have posted to the page. We do have some really cool topics coming up the next couple of weeks. So we will have some topics set. I know a few people messaged me today and asked what the topic was. And I was like, whatever you want it to be. So that's what we're talking about tonight. Pick a post. So anytime you see pick a post, that's what that is. Would you like to get onto the show tonight? Cool. We would love to have you come on. Go on to the Facebook Free Thinkers page. And there are two posts pinned at the top with the StreamYard link. You just click the StreamYard link, or sometimes you will have to copy and paste it into your browser, and then it will bring you directly into the live feed. If you're not interested in getting into the conversation with us live on video, you can interact with us on the live chat on the YouTube channel, and you can also interact with us on the video feeds on both my page and the Free Thinkers page. And those comments should come into our comment section. For anybody who's watching us right now, I see we've got a few viewers. Type in the comments, please. Let us know where you are watching us from. And if you plan on joining us live tonight, jump into the conversation. We would love to hear your perspective and see your face and engage with energy. So come on in and have a conversation with us. You can, it's about time Cameron did come to the conversation tonight. We've been trying to get you on here forever.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show. See, you never know who's going to jump into a Tuesday night. You can do this every Tuesday with us, or you can just tap in whenever you've got an availability. So Free Thinkers is something that you certainly don't have to commit to every single week. Q and I, of course, do. But you can come whenever you want. You can tap in a little bit late if you are running late on a Tuesday. If you need to leave a little early because it's getting late, you can leave a little bit early. We don't really have a whole hell of a lot of rules in here. Just be respectful and truthful and honest. And hell, that's kind of pretty much it for rules.
Don't be too sensitive.
Yeah, don't be too sensitive. This is definitely not the group if you super extra sensitive. We will possibly, say some things. It may not. I'm trying to be so politically correct here right now. We may say some stuff that upsets you. So,
y'all must ain't saw my post on Facebook. So, I like diving into stuff that people don't like to talk about. So it's fine with me.
And that's what we're here for. Is just to have these conversations. So much appreciated. We're glad that you can join us tonight. If you're watching us, like I said, type in the comments. Let us know where you're watching us from. If you are watching us, hit the share button. Please hit the share button. Share our Facebook page, share our YouTube channel. We know that sometimes this is like a secret little Tuesday night thing for you, and that's cool. You don't have to engage with us, but you can always
come out the closet. Come out the closet.
I mean, let me shut up before I get in trouble.
Stay out of jail, Nikki. Stay out of jail.
I am. I've been good. It's been a couple weeks. I've been good. I actually have been posting very little, so I'm like, I should be in the clear. But nonetheless, share the page, join both pages. Engage with us in the live comments, and we will be more than happy to discuss what you guys talk about if you can't make it to the show. Other than that, Cameron, thanks for joining the show tonight. It's your first time on, so assuming
my second actually.
Where the heck was I?
It was like I was like on the first one that I think it was like the first one we did. I think.
I think maybe I remember that. You're right. I apologize. Well, I mean, it's been that long.
Yeah, no, it's been long.
So we're glad you joined us. Let me see if I can change this view up a little bit, and then we're going to jump right into our conversations. So we've got a few that we saved. Q, did you have any in particular that grabbed your attention first you want to talk about?
Nah, I'll let you go first.
Ooh, okay. So there's a lot of stuff I posted.
What is this one? Hold on. What's this one about women shooting this shot? I haven't seen that. What is that about?
The recent one. Wow.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it.
Okay, I've got it up here. So let me toss
Yeah.
it up here on the front here. So this one. All right. So I think I posted this one too.
Huh.
Hold on, let me see who's coming in here. Oh, we got Terry to the show. What's up, Terry? It's been a minute since you've been on. You're muted, so we can't hear you right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good evening. How's everybody
What's
doing?
going on,
What's
man?
up? What's up? All right, we jumping straight into the conversation. We already did our little introduction.
Women
So,
shoot their shot, there will be more relationships.
true or false?
Facts.
True. I think it's true.
Yeah, I agree.
All three of us say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all
So
three
you
of
gotta
us
okay.
think
Let
that
me.
if more women shot their shot, there'd be more relationships. Why do you say that? Go ahead,
Let me
Q.
say that there's a variety of reasons that men may not all sometimes. So and okay. Let me. My whole mind is loading up with a lot of stuff. Let me slow down for a second.
I have one idea, but I'm
So
curious that all three of y'all said yes. So I'm curious.
there's another group that I'm a part of that I also moderate. And it's a private group, but it's dealing with a lot of singles.
Mm-hmm.
And they have this thing I never heard of it before we started. It's a thing called Sadie September. Have y'all ever heard of that?
Mm-mm. Sadie
Okay.
September.
Sadie September.
Okay.
It's a whole month where women approach men, ask them out on dates, and they take them out on dates, and they do the whole front to back everything. They picking them up, taking them out to dinner, taking them to show them a good time. That's what Sadie September is women doing the whole chivalry thing for men. So they're asking men out, going through the whole process.
Okay.
And a lot of women, because I asked this question, a lot of women, I said, do you have a newfound respect? Like, did you get nervous asking some of these guys out? And some of them were like, yeah, I was nervous. There was a couple times I was turned down. There was a couple of times I was ghosted. And it gave a lot of them a newfound respect for what men go through on a daily basis, single men who actually want to try to reach out. So I said all of that to say, oftentimes a man might see you in passing. They may be attracted to you, and if the timing was right, they might reach out and actually ask you out on a date or try to talk to you. But if they had a long day, maybe they're not in the headspace, maybe they don't feel like being rejected at the moment, they may not come to you when on a different day maybe they would have. So in those cases, had the woman approached the man, then it's a good chance he maybe would have said yeah. They could have started a relationship.
And that makes sense.
Something could have came up from it. So that's just one of many different circumstances. But sometimes a man, I could look at someone and be like, they're attractive. I talk to them. I like to ask them out. But if I'm in the middle of something, if I'm doing something, if I'm been passing, I'm like,
Right.
I'm gonna just keep walking
Right.
because
Right.
for whatever reason I wasn't prepared for it. I'm not in the space, and it's just like nah. If I run into them another time, then maybe. That's one instance that I can give. I mean, I'll let somebody else jump in.
No,
Go ahead. You said yes. Why do you say yes?
No, I just think I don't think like dating is there's never any guarantees, with relationships. But I do think that it helps start the process for a lot of guys if they know. I don't know. I think I commented on your post about I was out in California and it seemed like the culture out there. Because I was out there and it was, and I guess women are more aggressive or more willing to approach a guy, just like just randomly, just like see you and they like come over and talk to you and stuff like that. I thought that was pretty different. It was kind of different. In Atlanta, living in Atlanta, women weren't as aggressive, but they would in the flow, they were like say we were in a gathering or something, they would talk to you to kind of let you know that they're like they're just kind of
but they don't just jump out there with it, be like, so
Yeah, no, it wasn't that. No, it wasn't as aggressive like that. But I did think that, I mean, it wasn't always a situation where was interested in uh the women, but the fact that I thought that um being communicating with me, kind of letting you know that they were available. I thought,
That makes sense.
yeah,
That makes sense. That definitely makes sense. Do y'all, and this may be a really stupid question, but and bear with me, right? Because men generally do the majority of pursuing. I mean, I think that's a fair assessment to make, right? Like, I'm not trying to be stereotypical, but men generally do the pursuing when it comes to their object
Absolutely.
of attraction and affection. So,
yeah.
because that's not the role that I generally take, so I don't have the same experiences that y'all, I would assume, have. Do y'all ever just like get tired of, I don't even want to say being told no, but like, do you ever get tired of just like being rejected? And that's to assume that, that's to assume that you have more women object than maybe, what you would prefer, right? Like, every woman isn't going to say yes, obviously, right? So like, do you ever get tired of that and just be like, fuck this? Or is it just like part of what you're supposed to do? You just keep going until you land one. Like, I'm just
I can say, okay, let me say this. I think every man, first of all, every man handles rejection differently, and you do have some men who don't handle rejection well, and they are the, I don't know what to call them. They the
those
Lord help
ones.
them. Yeah, help your children, Lord. But they haven't reached a level of maturity in certain instances. But so everybody handles it differently. But a lot of times, to answer your question, it's not the rejection per se. A real man can handle rejection, but sometimes you can get tired of the way a woman like responds to it. So even like people come on to me and I'm cool with it. I don't trip. I ain't got no problems or whatever. And I can be polite and courteous and decline an invitation, whatever that means. And in the same instance, a woman can be, I appreciate it. No, thank you. No, not today. Whatever. Like, okay, no problem.
Right.
I appreciate it. You enjoy your day. Let me buy you a drink. Whatever. It just depends on the situation. We just chilling. Ain't no problem.
Right.
But sometimes some women get real snooty. They don't know how to reject the man properly.
Yeah.
There's a certain way to reject someone,
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly.
I think as like a guy, you kind of get used to it. You kind of get a routine down. Like, hey, if she says this is what I'm gonna say. You kind of know how to respond to it. And if you get a tough skin, kind of, I mean, if you repeatedly, get out there.
Right.
Some guys, they just real cautious, and some people, depend on their personality.
And I'm a salesman by nature, so it don't bother me. But then you get some people, and then you get some men also. Once if a woman politely reject them, well, I ain't want your ugly ass anyway. I was like, hold on, dude, chill out.
Now I'm fat and old and this and that. I'm like,
take the rejection gracefully, dude. It's not,
especially if she's being cool with you and trying to let you down nicely. Like,
so that's the other side that I understand from women, because there's, like I said, there's a lot of men who don't know how to handle a rejection, and then they get confrontational when they're rejected. So because of that, some women they don't know how to properly reject someone just because they don't know what the experience is going to turn into from that. So
I believe that.
Yeah, I mean, I try to be, I don't know, because I just think how women, I know this about men, but I know like women, they kind of get used to like, guys coming out, trying to get at them, and I don't know, I just want men to be a little more sensitive to that these women got they got more options. They got a lot of options here. So you might not, I mean, you might have a lot going on for you, but you don't know, you don't know. I'm just saying we have to be able to bow out gracefully. Like,
and this is what I say consistently. This is my biggest pet peeve with men. I say this all the time. read the signs.
Oh,
It's
please.
you know, like in boxing, you throw a couple little faint jabs to see what they gonna bite on, to see how they respond. Throw a couple of jabs out there to see how they gonna respond.
Yes.
If
I
they're
got
not
a buddy.
responding favorably to your basic questions, then don't pursue any further. Just back up.
I got a buddy. I was telling him, I'm like, man, you be swinging for the fences, man. You know, he be mad. I'm like, dude.
So let me throw some game out there for anybody listening. Just basic stuff.
But
how's your day going? You know, how's your day going so far? You enjoying yourself out here? Simple. I ain't trying to come on. Hey, you know, you enjoying yourself. The way that they respond to you, if they give you a one-word answer, if they don't make any eye contact, if their body language is saying, okay, don't go no further. That's
Don't force it.
Don't force nothing else. Now, if they engage in a conversation, if they turn towards you, they make an eye contact, they follow your question up with a question. I'm doing good. How are you doing today? And then you can kind of fill it out and then go from there, and their body language will tell you that it will be inviting for you to ask me out.
I guess I struggle with, if I'm having a great conversation and then at the end, if I'm gonna gamble and say, how can I contact you later? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you have social media? Do I get your number? And things like that. And so, I don't know. Sometimes I used to be, I used to be very
passive.
Carefree.
But sometimes you gotta go from now. Once you get the sign in, you do need to be more direct.
Yeah.
I'd love to take you out sometime. When can I take you out?
That'll do it. Usually that'll do it. That'll do it.
I've decided that this person is warmed up to me. You know,
right?
I'd love to take you out sometime. When can I? And then go from there. If it's a yes, it's a no. Now you know, but like that shouldn't be the first thing you jump into if you haven't found out if they're even receptive to your conversation.
Mm-hmm. Terry, why you say? What did you say? You said yes too, right? You said that there would be more relationships if women pursued men. Why do you say yes?
Oh, it's simple because half of the games would be cut out from the jump. You know, a woman would choose you to be whatever she wants you to be in that situation, and you could be that. There's no guessing. There's no games. It's straight to the point. Usually, a lot of times when you're out there courting or dating, you're posturing and you're playing the game. You know, I say this, she says that, just like Q was saying, it's the choosing signals. You know, the women will put out those choosing signals, and then, like you said, let me give you some game. It's a game. You have to say the right thing. It's no different than like if you see one of them peacocks where he puts all his plumes up and everything, he starts dancing and all that stuff. That's what men have to do for women these days in order to get their attention, because like we all know, there's plenty of guys out there, but for these women, because we all want the same women, but the same women only want a certain group of men. So that's why they always get these bad experiences, and then they tend to they don't choose downward or choose at a level where the average guy always can just go in situations and make things happen. That's just me personally. I don't know, because I'm just an average guy. I work hard, got about 17 jobs. I
don't get tired.
You don't know, never get tired. All I'm just doing.
So and so it makes sense. Like if the woman obviously pursues you, then like the first part is already out. It's already been answered. Exactly. Like she's interested in you for something. Exactly. So that takes some of that off the table.
Right.
Okay.
Now, when you say pursue, I'm trying to understand that concept. Pursue.
Pursue,
it could be it anyway, really. Yeah.
Yeah, pursue, date, court, whatever you want, whatever terms you want to use to put it in context for you, however you want to do it. It is a pursuit, because if you're actually interested in somebody, you're going to pursue them in a sense to, what do I do to distinguish myself? Because in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, of course, she's probably talking to somebody. If I'm attracted to her, that means somebody else is attracted to her. I mean, there's more than one person that has that same look for her. So how do I distinguish myself from the crowd that she's used to?
Female point
Oh.
of view. That's what.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. Pursue.
Women pursue men. I mean, it could be something as simple as. I don't have a lot
When
of.
I said pursue, what I was meaning when I said yeah, I mean like show the initiative. That's what I'm saying. Like show the initiative. Like maybe the guy followed afterwards, and he making arrangements and plans, and and trying to woo her or whatever you want to call it. But far as the doing all the reverse roles type things, that's what you mean?
No, they don't have to go all the way. They
Reverse roles. It's just
well,
like that. To me, it's still like the initial contact. Instead of
Yes.
Q hitting on me, I hit on Q.
Okay.
Instead of me being at a bar and Terry hits on me, I see Terry at a bar and I hit on him type situation. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to we ain't finna reverse this whole motherfucking deck.
And a woman, and the same thing what I said with a man, a woman doesn't have to ask a man out. All they have to do is make themselves available.
Interject that interest level.
And if the man is interested, then he gonna catch the signs quick and he'll go for it.
And bite. Yeah. Edward, do you think that if more women pursued relationships, there'd be more relationships?
I believe so, mainly because a lot of people, like men in particular, they do have they have the natural tendency to pursue, but sometimes you have a certain percentage of those who are just shy. They want to pursue, but they don't know how the woman will react when they do ask them, whether it's more so direct or even vague. Sometimes men have issues where they try to pursue, they try to talk to them, but some women that they may come across, they might seem so confrontational that they might just kill the vibe with them, even try to seek them. So sometimes they'll sit back and wait to see a woman come up to them and pursue them and see how they react. And then if it's on a good level, then the chances of if they connect from a woman pursuing a man, it may go up. It all depends on the vibes between the two.
Oh, and let me say this also. That's women who want to be approached if they know what they're doing. Understand this for those who don't know.
Say that again.
I ain't even said it yet, so
okay, so you're still going.
So for women who want to be approached, the smart ones know this. If you're with a group of women, most men will not approach you when it's 3 or 4 of your homegirls sitting next to each other.
Yeah, you said this before too. I've heard you say this before. They'll wait till you get away to the bar or something. A smart woman,
if they see a man looking at them,
break away.
The woman will break away on purpose to give the man the opportunity to approach them.
Yeah.
But a man could be looking at you, but as long as you with the your whole pack, a lot of them, they're not going to approach you.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
It is so crazy. Like even when you approach like multiple women, then you have those girlfriends that's you trying to talk to this person.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
And then
go
the
back over there,
like making a scene about it. It's like so. What you,
It's like you have one main star. And then you got the bodyguards.
They become bodyguards. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
they screening you. They ask you all the questions, and you like, oh, I'm trying to talk to her.
Right. Yep.
Let me throw my 2 cents in there real quick. Ladies, if you are the bodyguard, if you are with your homegirl and a man is engaging in conversation with her, it's cool for you to have her back and ask questions to him and make sure but there comes a point where you got to stop. Like you need to walk away. Like let him and let her engage in conversation. Because there have been a few times, and I don't want to say it's cock blocking because it's not that, but there's been a few times where I've had friends who are exceptionally protective over me, and I get it. Like I don't be out a whole hell of a lot, and I was like, all right, I think you just pretty much ran him off. That's okay.
So what you supposed to do, Nikki? Y'all should have a game plan ahead of time.
I had never experienced this shit before until the first time it ever happened, and I was so mind blown that this happened.
Have a game plan. have a green light word and have a red light word.
Right.
You can say some random thing like I don't know. I got got to do my taxes or something. And that could be the trigger for the homegirl to know, like, yo, I need you to put some interference in between this because I ain't feeling him. Or
Yeah,
if you could be like, you
don't
know,
put no more interference. No, don't stop being interference.
or you could say something else like, I'm thirsty, and then I need my throat dry, I'm thirsty. And that could let the girl know, like, no, yeah, I'm feeling him. Go ahead, back off. I'm feeling him. Go ahead, let him through. So
I
just
get
have a game plan ahead of time.
I get y'all's hesitancy when she's with a bunch of her friends. Like I can see how that can definitely be something that would feel weird.
Me and my friends, we definitely have eye contact. Like, you know, somebody can approach him and he kind of look at me a certain way. I'm like, all right, I got you. I'll put this interference in the way because I know you're trying to get out of here.
Have any of y'all, or I guess what's your experience been with women pursuing y'all? Do y'all like when a woman, because somebody had posted on the thing that they wouldn't like a woman pursuing them. They prefer to do the pursuing. So have y'all been pursued by a woman? Have y'all, you know, has a woman instigated, or not instigated, has a woman, I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but has she put forth the interest first and you then bit? Like, and what was that experience like? Did you like it? Did you not like it?
The thing about, oh my goodness, I mean, I ain't trying to, you know, boast or nothing, but I don't know. I have some, especially one thing I don't really, and I don't know who watching us, but with coworkers,
ain't nobody watching. It's just
but like,
hit the share button.
I just have a tough time like dating like coworkers and things of that nature and be people, because if it don't work out, I don't.
Yeah, you still stuck with them.
Yeah, especially when you're in the same department. Maybe if they're in another department or something like that. But I don't plan on staying in that job that long. But I'm just, but it's just, but anyway, but I've had times where, you know, girls were aggressive and I wasn't feeling them like that. And they like got just been vindictive and things of that nature. And you know, I had one, I was working on a project with her and I wouldn't accept her advances. So she didn't want to help me finish the project, you know, and just stuff like that, you know. I had one actually, one actually got me fired one time. This was years ago. Yeah. She
got you fired though, huh? She got you fired.
Well, yeah, it was a crazy. I shouldn't even took that job in the first place. But I was there.
But needless to say, you've been pursued by women though. You had your share of women.
I get pursued all the time, and I love it. I love it.
Do you?
Oh yes. Even the ones I'm not interested in.
I mean, I guess why would you not love it unless it's like some totally weird ass shit, right? Like, who doesn't like to be
right? And like I said, I understand why women, because even women who are attracted to me, who come on to me, I don't feel physically threatened by them, like they're gonna come and take it from me or something like that. So it's not like a woman to where she has to guard her safety in that type of way. I'm not as cautious. I don't feel like I have to be as cautious with that. So I can, you know,
and I want to make clear the one that, well, she didn't technically give me. It was a social dynamics. Everybody was like, she was like my defense initially, and so she, once I rejected her, she like joined the group that were upset with me because I had favor with the boss. And so now it was mutiny. So everybody don't like me. The boss like me. And so the boss like, them or you.
You lost all your advocates.
That's kind of how that happened. As I'm walking out, she just wouldn't even look at me. Just walking. Just
that's
like,
what you get. That's what you get.
She knows what's going on. Just wouldn't even look my way.
Next time, say yes.
I think I agree with y'all. I think that I think that maybe more. Well, I don't know if more relationships would happen, but I definitely feel like more beginnings of meeting people would certainly happen more if women shot their shot at men as opposed to waiting for men to shoot their shot or whatever. Less conversations happening, certainly. I don't know. I don't think that women approaching men is like, you know, the solution for a long-lasting relationship, because it can still go downhill real bad. But I can see the interest level certainly being greater in the beginning because she came on to you first. So that was it. I thought it was a yes too for the most part. I was surprised by people who said that that was a no. But Yeah,
I'm not saying like I want you to propose to me. Like, no, I
right.
turned
No,
down a
please
proposal.
don't. I'm sorry.
Like, I'm
And I
like,
think,
nope,
like
that's
I
not
said,
gonna
the
happen.
definition of when people connect, pursuing, and like you said, proposing and all that stuff. I think when they think pursuing, and I don't know, I don't know if we're gonna go this way. It's just something been on my mind like all day. I saw this post earlier about this girl. She was, it was saying something about what I don't know if it was in our group, but I saw it online, and the girl was proposing as a guy to the guy, and it was like, "What do you think about that?"
Nope, I will reject it
And
every time.
and I don't know. My
I'm
thought.
not starting a marriage with a woman proposing to me.
Hell no, that is not that. That is not the same thing. Those are not the same. There are still rules men do have to follow. That's gonna be one of them.
I the only way I see that happening, if this is what my thinking is, now if he proposed first, she turned him down, and then she comes back around.
Nope, not even that.
Not even that.
She can say, "All right, you can propose to me again if you still want to."
Do you stay if she says no though? Like, is the relationship over if she says no?
That's a good question.
No, you don't stay, Terry, if she says no.
Y'all stay together, and she turned around, and if she turned around, y'all are together, and she just gets down on her knee after you already said, "I want to be married," and then she turned around. But I know it's kind of hard for us to say that because we ain't in that situation.
No, it ain't. Okay, Terry, you shaking your head. What you thinking, Terry?
Because here's the thing about it.
So we got to break off at if it don't.
Yeah, it's at that point it's over with. Because where can you go in the relationship?
I got situation. I got circumstance. So like a lot of people, let's think about the Joe Budden type syndrome, where you propose to the girl after you done cheated or did something crazy, and now you trying to reel it all back in, and she'd be like, no, that may not be a permanent no. It's just like, no, I'm not marrying you under these circumstances. You're gonna have to show me more and show me better before I agree to marrying you.
But you didn't put that stipulation in there initially. It was, if you propose to her initially and she says no, the relationship is over at that point.
Because I don't. Why is the no? I need to know why the no is.
They're at that. I mean, for me, for me to propose, we have kind of had these discussions leading up to this. This is not something that's just popping up out the blue.
I'm just gonna ask for nothing.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We've discussed. We've looked at stuff. We're looking at finances. We're looking at merging. We're taking two corporations and making them into one. And we've talked about this already. So now let's just go ahead and make it official. And you say, no, I don't want to do this partnership with you right now. Okay, well, I'm at this point, I'm done. Especially if you go out your way and you do this, you got your family there, you got your friends and all this and that and blah, 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 and this and that. I mean, these are discussions you guys could have behind closed doors. Like, I'm not ready to get married yet. I'm like where we're at. We're not at a space and time. You can drop little hints.
So you believe a proposal is also an ultimatum?
I won't say an ultimatum. I'm just going to say
what it is. If we stand or leaving based upon what you say, that's an ultimatum.
Well, it's not an ultimatum. I'm just saying it's not like if you marry me. I'm not asking you to marry me and you say no. The relationship's over in a sense like that. I'm not giving you those choices. I'm asking you to marry me because I see something in you that I want to be with for the rest of my life.
That's but if she say no, then you leave.
And she says no. Obviously, I'm not what she wants. She doesn't see the same thing in me that I see in her. So therefore, regardless of how the relationship is, we're at a crossroad.
What if she does see the same things in you, but she doesn't want to be married? What if she would be fine staying with you forever and being monogamous if that's what you wanted to do, and even having a family if that's what you wanted to do? Like, what if she just didn't want to get married, but she wanted to be with you and stay committed?
That could have been a discussion that could have been said way prior to the proposal.
But what if he never mentioned it? What if he never said anything about marriage? And then all of a sudden it just overcame him, and he was like, "Fuck, I want to marry this woman." And that's a beautiful sentiment.
People who've been divorced before. Some people who've been divorced have a real jaded perspective
Fear of
on
getting married again. Yeah, some people
legally
are
married again.
good.
They're like, I commit to you, I
5
stay
times?
with you, I never leave.
5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 5?
You've
I'm
been
saying
married,
me
you've been
too.
married
I'm
5
saying me
times,
too. I'm
Terry?
saying me. No, I'm saying me too. That's what I'm saying. I was just raising my hand, pointing to me. Just that's all I was
Gotcha.
saying.
So you know.
I agree with
Terry.
Terry.
Like, I've been married 5 times. Trust me, I know what
I'm like,
I agree with Terry.
I'm
Like
married to 2 people right now.
you should have a discussion about these and getting the idea of this person and what their future goals and desires are. But a lot of people don't have discussions.
I think it's circumstantial. Okay, so let's go here then. So, who Michael B. Jordan and Lori Harvey, is that how you say her name? If she turned him down, then their relationship has to end right there. Is that right?
Yeah,
or could they continue
no,
in a
no,
relationship?
it needs to end because she chose the streets over him.
You know she chose the streets.
There we go.
She didn't say I choose the streets over you.
I mean,
This man offered her stability. He offered her family.
Maybe she wasn't ready.
Wait.
Okay, go ahead.
What is there to be ready about? I mean, she's not going to get
20
no younger.
still, right?
She's 25.
25? Okay, wait. Let's stop.
She was 23 when they got together.
People were getting married at 18, 19.
Oh, you talking about the
No. Marriage is marriage. I mean, stop. We here's the thing. We can't just ignore.
How old is your oldest, Terry? How old is your oldest child? My
oldest is 21.
So you already know. Our 21-year-olds today are not us when we were 21. My 25-year-old is not me when I was 25. They are a whole different playing field. I'm not giving her no excuses because I do agree with you. She kind of for the streets. When you sleep with the daddy and the son, you fucking lose all credibility to me.
I didn't add that in, but
I do. You lose all credibility. You can have all the men you want under your belt, but when you sleep with a daddy and a son, you kind of lost it for me. So I'll give you that. I do agree with you on that aspect. She got a for the streets mentality. But aside from that, she's 25. She don't have to want it. She doesn't want to know what she wants yet. She doesn't.
There's no aside from that. You got to understand. Just everything you said proves my point why she needs to go ahead and take this one now. Because reason why I'm saying, look who she's not getting a low quality guy. She's getting somebody who's highly desired and
she's supposed to settle?
Her daddy rich though. That don't mean nothing. Her daddy rich. She come from money, so that ain't no thing.
What is she supposed to take this for? Like just get them off the market for later? Save for later?
You're right. Go out there and run the streets. Get the walls separated to a point where every time she goes to the bathroom, it goes. and then
that's her choice.
35, 40, at the age of 35, 40, try to pop out her first kid. And then somebody really gonna want that. Nobody gonna want that.
So
look. Nobody's gonna want
No. That's not
nobody's
true.
And that's absolutely not true because y'all still will. Yes, y'all will.
Number one, we still will. And number two, let me give you a general principle. And I tell people this all the time. Age is relative. So for women especially, and I had this conversation with Nikki, she didn't want to go along with it, but I'm telling you, age is relative. No matter how old you are, just go 10 to 15 years up and you're still young to them. So by the time she's 40, she just needs to be talking to somebody around 50, 55. You still at 40, you're still young to a man that's 55.
Right.
Yes. You ain't gonna catch nobody your age or younger. You ain't gonna even catch nobody 40 when you're 40.
Women usually like to date down. Like
that's why I'm trying to teach them. Just as long as you say 10 to 15 years older, you always young. Age is relative.
She chose, like I said, like the person right here is saying, she chose the streets over stability.
She's stable.
What they say about Superhead?
She's trying to get a Superhead deal. She gotta roster like a motherfucking NBA sports team, man. Like, and that's her choice. That's her choice. She can do that.
She can do that.
Nobody's knocking that at all. But the question being, should the relationship be over? I mean, the relationship is over because they two don't want the same thing, but does that mean the relationship has to be over if somebody says no
And
to
see,
the
I
engagement?
question it, man, and that's why I question, because obviously, unless you are trying to do that save the relationship proposal where you done did something bad, or you know the relationship about to be over, so then you propose because you're trying to save the relationship.
Right.
Outside of that
But-
situation,
but-
you propose to someone because things are good. You have a good relationship. You have good communication. You enjoy each other's time and company. It's good. So I want to take this to the next step.
Well,
If they're not ready to take it to the next step, then still you want to end a good relationship because of that?
yeah.
Just a question.
Look at the reverse though. Women deal with this all the time when they're dealing with men, that they're addressing this marriage thing. And the guy,
Say it.
I'm not ready. She hangs in there. She brings it up again.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah.
that is true.
Because a
That's
woman, a
true.
chick will look, we will be fiancés for 10 years. We will be.
That's a good, good point,
Got a
Cam.
promise ring on. Got a promise ring.
No sex.
On everything.
So I shouldn't say we, some of us. I'm not going to speak for all women, because some of us have made some decisions that we wouldn't do again, right? But sometimes we'll sit around. Why? Because we fucking love you. We don't care if it's a piece of paper or not. Like, I mean, really and truly, that's for some of us, the whole aspect of the legal ritual to marriage is not something that all people are interested in. I would be sad if the man that I loved wholeheartedly decided that I don't want to be with you anymore, Nikki, because you simply won't fucking go to this courthouse and sign these legal documents with me. I could be your power of attorney. We can be each other's beneficiaries. We can do all these things legally, but what if I just don't want to fucking get married? Like, I don't
But
think
then hold on, that becomes a problem.
I don't think
That
that's
becomes
why
a problem
most
on the
people,
flip side, though.
I don't think that's why most people say no. So I realize that's probably not the normal scenario when a person says no for marriage, but that is something that needs to be considered, because it isn't always, I don't love you the same way that you love me, or you're not the person I want to be with. Like, I definitely disagree with that point. Go ahead. Sorry, Q.
No, go ahead, Terry. You was about to say something.
No, I was gonna kind of agree with Nikki on that one, because
Oh shit.
yeah, I know, and that's surprising. No, I mean, as far as the marriage aspect of it, because what is a piece of paper if you guys are going to go in a covenant with one another,
Right.
prior to a certain state, like say when the country was founded, who married George Washington? Did he have a marriage license?
Right.
And all those other presidents and all this stuff?
Right.
All that is just a way to get money out to people, but we're not even gonna go there. But I agree with you in the sense of if as two adults, you guys are understanding that you guys are gonna be, hey, we're one now from this point forward,
Right.
then that's cool. I would rather do that versus going to the courthouse and all this other stuff, and then you get the state involved in your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. The one. If you go into the law and things, that if you get into the legal aspect of it, you can have your own covenant with her that, hey, if I go, you have everything.
Here's my will. Here's my power of attorney. That you are my beneficiary. Like, you still have all the same rights for the most part. And I guess this is state by state specific. Not let me speak ignorantly, because I don't fucking know what other states do. I know Texas because I was a common law wife for 16 years. It didn't cost me a dime to fucking leave. I didn't have to change my last name. I didn't have to go down to the Social Security office. I didn't have to do nothing except change the locks on the door. So I'm okay with that, straight up. Some of y'all had to pay 10, 20, 30, 60, $90,000 to leave a goddamn relationship. Maybe it was free. So, and so there's other reasons why sometimes you get a no to a proposal, right? And I just wanted to keep that in perspective, because it is not that, this person is not as equally important. But I think you generally do see most no to proposals end in the relationship ending as well. So that is an interesting perspective. Does it have to end?
In California, they got palimony now. You get palimony.
Palimony?
Yeah.
If
y'all living together
for
so many years, and the person was financially benefited from your relationship.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I like Cali. I don't know if I moved to Cali. They divorced.
Palimony. I've never heard of that. Wow.
Very true.
Like Dr. Dre, he didn't. I think he got to pay his wife a certain amount of money until she get married again. I'm like, she ain't never getting married again.
Right. She gonna die
Ever.
off when that happens.
She gonna have 5 boyfriends that ain't gonna be married to none of them.
Yeah. California, it's 50-50. It's like everything.
You're probably right. That's a horrible clause to put into someone's divorce decree. Like, I gotta keep paying you till you get married again. Well, I'm never getting married again. How about that? So when
Me
you
and my
tell me,
boyfriend just gonna be relaxing off your money.
so if you were Dr. Dre's ex-wife, new man, you finna get your butt hurt? Like, if she tells you, no, I don't want to marry you, like, we finna make money.
The
And I know that's a
boyfriend
horrible
gonna
way
be
to look
like,
at
no,
this,
we're
but
not
that's
gonna
what
get
it
married.
is.
The boyfriend gonna tell her not to get married. No, we ain't getting married. We got a good thing going on. We're gonna stay like that.
She
Get
said,
that
no,
monthly
we're gonna
check.
keep this.
True. In that case,
Or he might want to get married because then if they get divorced, then she get half of what she got.
Ooh.
The ex is
no.
happy to see you with somebody. Man,
She ain't never. Y'all see Oprah, no matter what Oprah say, she been with Stedman 25, 30 years and they ain't never gonna get married.
And she says she's not.
Man, Stedman is a front. Stedman's a front.
Bro, don't fix it.
Stedman's a front. I'm sorry.
Well, I agree with you.
Hold on.
No.
Let's step. Go ahead,
Stedman. Stedman is a beard. That's what Stedman is.
Yeah.
That's what Stedman is.
Why would she need a beard? Why would she need that though?
You know, honestly, I don't know why Oprah wouldn't live her truth. She tells everybody else to live her truth, but I'm just saying her and what's that girl's name?
Gail. You
think
Gail?
See, y'all said it before I did.
Yeah, there's only one person associated with Oprah. That ain't hard to do.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, but you got to think about it. It kind of goes along with some of the topics that we have on the list for tonight. Like if Oprah in fact, is a gay woman, right? Like she probably couldn't be gay and black, and a television personality of that magnitude.
Not be a household, not be a
not
household
then,
with her
not,
magazine.
I don't think when she first started in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, not in the 80s. No.
But today's time,
she can come out and be a superhero.
But
now she has to keep up
her magazine
that image.
Like that,
yeah.
It's an image that
because if it's a long drawn out lie, then people will
and people already been suspecting that and have been calling Stedman names for 20 plus years. So she gonna have to take that one to her grave.
I don't know about that. Y'all got to show me some more proof.
Well, no, man. Okay, so I kind of want to keep along with the conversation about like
they probably
dating assembly.
When they get rich enough, they want a little bit of everything.
I think this falls in line with that because that same situation with if we was to say with Stefan. Stefan.
Oh no, I was just gonna jump to the next topic. No, you're good.
Sorry, Stedman. If he were to say that it was a legitimate thing, even though they say he got like his own house in the back of her house or something to that effect.
But back house.
Hold on. Let's be fair too. They both rolling up on 70. I mean, you ain't doing that much.
Right.
At a certain age, you ain't that much going on. You just enjoy reading the paper with each other and drinking orange juice.
Not too many. I mean, are women willing to, share their finances like that? I mean, with a man versus. I'm just.
She shouldn't. Saying. She understand the game. She like, this is my money. This is my empire. I'm not going to allow the laws of the land to dictate what happens. If our personal relationship dissolves.
And you can't be mad at that. You cannot be mad at that. She's protecting herself the best way that she can, and her empire. Absolutely. All right, so I want to jump over to this one that we have up here too. And so there was a video about this. So if you haven't seen the video on the Freethinkers group page, there's a little quick video of this. And it's basically this woman giving her reason for why she says that when a man is not financially confident, they date big girls. When a man is not financially, so there was a lot of different emotions about that, because people felt like, hold up, wait a minute, what are you saying about big women? Are you saying? So you can imagine the things that had been said, right? So, woman says when a man is not financially confident, they date big girls. What are y'all's thoughts about that? He said no. You don't think so?
I had a buddy.
Cute. Hugh almost is like excluded from the conversation because you have admittedly said you love a voluptuous woman. So
and
you
hold
like,
on, no,
that don't matter.
no. Let me back. So first of all, when we dealing with free thinkers, my opinions in almost every situation is not solely from my own experience.
True.
I have tons of people. Either I've had the conversation with them, they've directly DM me. I've seen interaction with people who say a certain thing, and then another person in the group, then they be in their DMs, and I was like, okay, so you were saying this, but on the real, then you really. So anyway, my whole point is, even my opinions are not based solely off of just my thought. It's based off of not only my thought, but what I've seen and witnessed over a long period of time. And that's why I say it's BS, because I know plenty of men who they just like we men like variety. There's some men who have a specific type, and there's other men who like big, small, dark, light, oriental, white, black, Mexican. I mean, we like variety. We like what our eyes like.
Mm-hmm.
And to try to single out and say, well, if they big women, then that's just they're insecure in some type of way. No, you ain't got to be insecure to like big women. That's totally false.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that some women are. I don't know what you can say just the fact that their size, but some women are more generous or more free flowing with their resources or whatnot.
So that was the argument, Cameron, is that men went to a larger woman because the assumption is the larger woman may not have as many options as a smaller woman. So she is more gifty. She's more prone to, giving him gifts and money because she's trying to like buy his affection and his attention. Like that's literally what it boiled down to.
I don't think she got enough research to back this theory up, but
now let's go here. If you're saying that if excuse me, there are some women who become insecure because of their weight, and that insecurity has a trickle effect to it as well. Just like there's some men who become insecure because of their lack of finances. That insecurity, whatever the insecurity is, it has a trickle down effect. There's some people that I know, whether they balling or they ain't got no money. There's certain friends that I know, it don't make no difference to them. They still have the same level of confidence regardless. There's a lot of women I know. It don't matter if they're 200, 300 pounds. There's some of the biggest, big women I know are the most confident people that you've ever met, and they pull on a regular. They ain't got no problem pulling nobody. So the most attractive thing is confidence. If you lack confidence for any reason, then that should be the statement versus trying to put it off on men who ain't got money or women who big. That's not it. It's security versus insecurity.
Yeah.
True
that. Yeah.
I ain't want to kill the argument. I mean, somebody.
Size shouldn't matter.
Speaking from the men's perspective versus the woman's perspective, like I don't really have a leg in this argument, really. Ivory had posted something, and I kind of like agree with her in the aspect where she said that she has told some of her girlfriends who may have been larger women, like, make sure he's not trying to, use you essentially. Like, be mindful that like there are some men who may come after you because you're a bigger girl, so you might got more money and you got better credit and you want to chunk to a dude or something like that. Like she's, and at the same time, there's some women in there who are like, I'm a big woman, I ain't never had this problem.
I know people that small and get using abuse.
Exactly. Because users know how to identify insecure people. There's a lot of people I've met, like models, most gorgeous people in the world, but super insecure because they're super hyper aware of their outer appearance. And those same people can easily be manipulated by somebody who knows, like, oh, they insecure. I can get them easy. There's some of the most beautiful model-looking women who. So that's what I'm saying. The argument itself is misdirected because it's not about big or small or rich or poor. It's about really security versus insecurity.
Period. At any size.
Yeah, I
At
mean,
any
and
size.
women are more
Yeah.
forgiving. You know, or patient. You know, some guys just sell them some garbage or whatever, and they just kind of buy into that.
I don't know. I'm looking at the article or the comment, and it's like, for me, it's like a personal jab at big women and
Yep,
men that
yep,
aren't
yep,
financially stable.
Yep,
I think it's just a backhanded slap for
Yep.
both of them, for
yep,
someone to sit back and say a man has to be X, Y, and Z,
yeah,
and a woman has to be A, B, and C.
yeah. Because I see.
I agree.
You know, yeah. Some people have. So, I mean, women, even if in their, even though they over big or what do you want to say, they have very strong self-esteem. You know, and they
Right.
I just don't.
I think it's just the predator aspect. There are some men, and women do this too. Women are not, excluded from the conversation of being predators, because women can too. But in this particular conversation with this one, I think it's more of like the predatory dude going after the stereotypical, conversation of being predators. Woman. But in this particular.
Sorry. That was me. I was
the stereotypical, or the predatory man going after the stereotypical woman, the weaker woman, or maybe the not so cute woman, because she's gonna definitely say yes and she's gonna give me more money. Like, just that type of gamey stuff, I think, is what some people felt that was about. But you're right, Terry. It's definitely says something negatively about the man who's not got money falling out of his pockets 24/7 and a burger woman. Like, all right. Q, any other posts that you want to cover? So those are the two that I threw up there. First of all, let's see if we can change this direction a little bit. Anything that you saw, or anything
there's something you posted, I thought.
Okay, which one?
You said why are people single? What you was asking about why are women single, but you can't believe.
Oh, why are more attractive women single, and then why are more attractive men single?
But you can't blame. I think you said you can't blame the opposite sex or something. It's like, but you can't blame.
I remember those posts, and I didn't pick those on today's. Let me see. Let me go back and I'll read it to you. But what was your thoughts about it?
Oh, you're saying, okay, is this the one I'm looking at? Why are so many attractive and accomplished women single?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Who's doing that?
Oh.
That wasn't me. And I think the reason why that crossed my mind when I was thinking of things to talk about, but I thought
I can't answer the question because I disagree with the premise of the post.
Yeah.
Like it implies that you know what? I put a comment. Where's my comment? That is.
Well, see, if I took it, I'm actually pulling
the
it up
same
right
reason
now.
there are attractive, accomplished married women. Like being married, being single is a choice. So I mean, it implies that attractive women are not married, or like there's no attractive, accomplished married women. There are attractive and accomplished married women also.
I think a lot of what we said, I think, ties into like why the singleness. We'll take out the attractive part. I guess it's saying that even though why are so many single? Even though,
but let me say this too. What does like that's not the end all be all. Being attractive and being accomplished don't make you wifey material.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
You could be attractive, accomplished, and be a horrible human being, or you lack communication, or you lack empathy, or you lack the maternal gene, or it's a lot of things that you need to be other than just attractive and accomplished in order to be good marriage material.
That is true.
See, when I read it, because there was one for men and there was one for women, and I tried to screenshot it, but I can't send it to myself on my other phone. But it said it's a purple post, and it basically says why are so many attractive, accomplished women single without blaming men? And the way that I took that was, don't blame men for why the women are single. Like, it'd be easy to say, oh, because men suck and men are liars and men this and men that. Like, it'd be easy to say, oh, well, that's why I'm single. I'm attractive and I'm accomplished, but men are just living with their mamas and they put like so. So when it said without blaming men, I took it as don't put it off on them as the problem. Like, what is the actual real problem, or what is the actual real reason? Doesn't necessarily mean there has to be a problem, you know. And there was some really good feedback on there. You know, honestly, you get to a point, and my comment with that is you just get tired of bullshit, and men are not void of this feeling either, because the same question was asked for men. So men can equally be sick of women's bullshit. But from a woman answering that question, why are there so many attractive, accomplished women single? Because we're sick of fucking bullshit. Like, you can only go out and stick your neck out on a limb so many times before you're like, you know what? Fuck it. It's just easier.
So you are blaming men.
Huh?
Yeah.
So you are blaming men.
No, it's just easier. It's just easier to focus on your work. It's easier to focus on your journey. It's easy to focus.
You said
on
you're tired of the
taking care
BS.
of.
That sounds like the BS. What is the BS that you're referring to?
Just no longer seeking. You may not be seeking companionship. You may put relationship on the back burner. You may put fostering a romantic relationship.
Why?
What's the BS that you're referring to?
Exactly.
Oh, well, I mean, just the
Say it.
the inconsistencies that come with people, and
Say it.
say what?
People? Say it. What people? What people? Be specific.
Men.
There you go. Yes, there it is.
But if you
Can't
take,
get
but
around
if you remove intimate relationships and romantic relationships just off of the table altogether, it's not blaming anybody. It's just it's not the right time. Like, just not the right time.
Our society. I mean, I think we like living.
I see why y'all say what you're saying, though.
I think we living on like these things that come up through our mankind history. Like, we live in the 1950s, but we still trying to apply it to today. And I think the dynamics of relationships, the role of women in society now has changed dramatically. Women are more career driven. We have more technology. You can see you can see more options out. Before, people basically just married somebody in their community because that's all they saw for around them for the most part. Now we got social media, we got TV, we see what's out there, and we like, nope, hold on, I got some more options out there. Let me seek and see what's out there. I can, what I can get, and I just think that while we seeking, all these things, we passing up. Hey, like, I guess tying back to what we were talking about. Do you want to marry? Nah, I'm still waiting. You know what I'm saying? I'm still seeking. You know what I'm saying? And I think that is, and then along the line, we've been burned, we've been hurt, and then now we up in age and we trying to figure out everybody.
But then also the definition of the American dream has changed, and it's not that one the one American dream: woman, get married, have 2.5 kids and a dog and a house and the white picket fence and live happily ever after. That was the dream that was sold from 1940 all the way up to probably the 80s. And that dream it has changed. That could be a dream for some other people. Not so. There can be, everybody has their own path, and now that's okay. So it just doesn't have to be anything. You about to say something, Edward?
Yeah, I was looking back at that post that was posted on there about why are so many attractive women are single without blaming men, and I was first to put something about blaming men part, but I was like, no, I got something straightforward with it. It was because they're pursuing their careers and other goals first. Because I noticed myself, I know I'm younger than all of y'all, but I noticed over the course of years how I see
you don't know that, man. I'm 22.
I know. Dang it. Anyways, but
don't let the gray hair fool you.
But I noticed over time, like everywhere I go, it's like I see more women, and women, they just focus more on their careers. Like they don't like, except for some, they try to look for a man. They want a man, this and that and stuff. But majority of times, every time I see a woman or talk to them, all they focus on is on their careers. I mean, it could stem from like what they've seen from their parents or how they came up, and they figure maybe I don't want to be like how my previous generation was. I want to focus on me. I want to focus on myself. I want to focus on my future. And if a man happened to come along the way, then cool. But if not, I'm not gonna let nothing stop me. So that's why I feel like most women are single, because they want to pursue what they want to do for themselves, for their future.
Right.
without blaming men. So.
My daughter's that way. She'll be 26 this December, and we just had this conversation last week, and she's like, I don't really want to be in a relationship. And a girlfriend of mine, she's my age, so we're about to be 44. Like, we had the same conversation too about 2 weeks ago, and she says, I don't think I want to do this relationship thing. She's like, I just don't feel like being responsible for somebody else but me right now. And I was like,
that's the key word, responsibility.
yeah,
There's
she's
so
like,
much
I just
responsibility
don't want to
got.
be responsible for stuff. She's like,
Right.
she's like, I don't love this person any less. I just no longer want to be responsible for their feelings, their emotions, how I make them feel. And I was like, well, then don't. If this is not what you want, then don't. Like, if you don't want to be responsible for somebody else, then you can't be in a relationship, because being with somebody else requires you to be responsible and accountable to their emotions, their feelings, their thoughts, everything about them, if you're gonna have one. And so, I mean, I can see why you guys said what I was saying sounded the way that it did, and that, sure, I know why it sounds like that, but like, sometimes you just are like, it's not that serious anymore. Like, maybe you do have a healing journey that you're going through, like you said, Edward. Maybe you come from a fucked up family, and like, relationships just don't go well for the people in your family, and you're like, yeah, I don't want to do that. Like, I need to be more secure within myself as a woman. I need to be more secure within myself as a partner. I need to be more secure with myself and my own security levels before I even try to go be with somebody else. So there's a variety of reasons.
Hold on just a second. Cam, Terry, you was about I know you've been holding on to something. What you about to say, sir?
Only thing I'm gonna say is, this is when my tinfoil kufi's gonna kick in. I'm gonna blame it all on social engineering. Because I think, just me, just looking at the past 20 years of my life, as far as seeing how relationships have gone from, we're trying to be in partnerships, to this me mentality, has trickled down so far to a point to now that even you have men and women just going against each other like we Crips and Bloods. Like, there is no unity between the sexes anymore. Like, you've got people really convinced that you don't need somebody. Like, it's great to be independent, and we weren't designed to be independent. We were designed to be interdependent of one another, because we balance each other. Like, we're not whole beings. When we find our other half, like, say for example, me and Nikki, you and I are together. Hint. No, I'm just kidding. But if I look at you, you would be, if I was to look at you in the mirror, you would be what I see as my feminine side. Everything you are would be the representation of me in the feminine aspect, and vice versa. We don't have that concept of these days, because we're too busy to talk, do you, don't worry about nobody else, get yours, get the bag, get everything. That's all I'm saying. Social engineering has a lot to do with the dynamic of where we're at. And plus, there's no more, the idea of the nuclear family is going away, because the family structure is what makes community strong. And to get a people to make them weak, you have to get rid of families. And we're seeing a major downfall in family type ideas. But I'm out of it. I'm just going to sit back and mute my.
Okay, I got something to say about that, but Cam, go ahead, jump in first.
No, you go ahead and say. Oh, I guess I'll go back to that. I don't know. This is kind of a dynamics that I was thinking is like, I thought about some friend of mine, their friends, and I guess the husband, they had moved. Guess the wife got a new job offer, like out of town, and it was like she was gonna make way more money than him, and he was like set against it. He was set against her moving on and getting making more money than him, and she was wanting to go back to school, and he was just kind of and our thought was that he thought that if she start to advance and start to get educated, that she would look down on and at him as being inferior to her. And I think that is a lot of times when I talked about society, what I'm saying? I just think that women are, because they're getting educated, they're being very choosy. Even if that guy, he could be even even more, even have a credentials even better than hers. But intellectually, she'd be like, you need to challenge me, or, you know what I'm saying? And so I think sometimes that can play. I had a buddy of mine. He said his wife. He has like 2 degrees. He has a law degree and was a law and engineering degree. And he's like, and she, I think she has like a master's or something. But he making way more money now, right? But he's like, she's always Googling. Anytime he says something, she argues with him. Try to Google stuff. But I guess my point is that I think that because of the dynamics of women getting educated, women are. I saw with Notre Dame at one time. I think women made up like 20%. I'm just throwing out something out there. Maybe 40, 44. Now they're like 60%. Now they're like majority is Notre Dame is women. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Where these colleges are, women are the majority at a lot of these colleges, and you have all this education, and I think sometimes women have a hard time dealing with men because they might feel, even though we might have all these other criteria that can bring to the table, but some they just, I be with couples. I'm single, but I be with couples, and they be like, I'm witnessing them. He turned that way, and they arguing it over which way he was supposed to go, even though either way would have been fine. You know what I'm saying? Right. But I just think that might be it.
That's problem number one. When you shouldn't be competing with your partner.
Sure.
That's a recipe for the disaster when you constantly, whatever the battle, if you in financial battle, if you in a battle of intellect trying to prove that you smarter and you know more, I hate that stuff. Now, what I was going to say is all of this stuff is cool. If you want to pursue your goals and dreams and make time for yourself and do the me time, but just realize that time does play a role. So while you're doing all this me time and I'm focusing on me, time is passing. So my only thing is all the people who say I'm focused on me and my me time, I don't want to hear those same people complaining later about how men ain't this and men ain't doing that and they not around and they won't approach you. You spent a large portion of that courting time doing you. Now, just because you didn't decided to come back at a later time in your life, while other people see, it's I say it like this: everything is investment periods. So just like you were investing your education and your career at a certain point in time, maybe your best friend was investing in relationships and bringing up kids at that time. They were also making investments. So you cannot be, just like the person who started a family early can't be mad if they haven't reached the level of success that their friend had, because you were investing in something different. While you were investing in family, they were investing in education in their career. On the flip side, the person investing in their education in their career can't be mad because they still ain't got nobody. If you didn't take the time to invest in finding somebody, conforming, meshing with them, communicating, and building that type of tenure. That also takes time. It's an investment phase. So you can't get mad when Chris Rock said you didn't put in on us, man. Don't be mad and be haters with other people who have put in on it and they have a fruitful relationship right now. That's my only thing. If you like it, I love it. But I hate the people who come back and start complaining on the back end when they didn't invest in that particular area. That's all.
Yeah, I guess what your priorities are.
And there's nothing wrong with that. So I agreed with you, Q, 100%. I do agree with you 100%. But I also, I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason, right? So if I've spent a majority of my life, so me, I had my first kid when I was 18 years old. It certainly wasn't a planned family happening, right? But it fucking happened. So I had my first kid at 18 years old. I was pregnant at 17, had a child at 18. I've been raising kids for 26 years. There's a ton of things I've not done, haven't done, probably won't do, haven't had the opportunity to do, probably just not going to do, right? But that doesn't mean that because a person chooses to focus on certain things that may be the reason why they are not acquiring, having, experiencing other things, that it's any less the way that it was supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't, so if a person chooses to focus on their career and their education and all of these things, that doesn't mean when you turn 40, 44 years old, 45 years old, 50 years old, oh, well, it's just over and done with. There is nothing left for you, because if it's supposed to happen, it's going to happen. If this is now,
it's not going to happen as easy as the people
you're right,
who invested early.
You're right. But who's to say that had it happened 10, 15, 20 years ago, that it would have lasted anyways? You'd be starting over at 40,
hold on, Nikki. But hold on, Nikki. With that, understand what I'm saying by investment. So let me use. I'm gonna use. Hold on. Let me use you as an example, because you're currently single right now.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't know what your parameters are, if you decided you didn't want to be single and want to be in a relationship, the right person came along, you've already made investments relationally, hopefully, that when you find the person that you choose and you want to be with, you're already good relationship material, because you've invested in learning what it takes to be in a relationship.
Right.
So even though you may be single right now, you still put in investment, and when that time comes for you, it could be a seamless, easy transition to where someone else, it could be a hard, long road because they didn't invest in relationships throughout that time.
I just want to speak to the timeline of things happening, right? Because it kind of seems like, and you're right, but it kind of seems like the way that you explained, like how and when you dedicate to certain things, that like if you don't do it during this time, like the time could be up. And I think that as you get older, your pickings do get slimmer.
Your pool changes.
Yes, it does.
It either is a different type of pool, or the pool shrinks, or it's
a good thing too that your pool changes. But
maybe depending on how picky you are. But
well, it depends on what type of relationship you want to end up with too.
It depends on what type of fish are in the pool that you currently have options for.
And sometimes
some people, let me say this, Nikki, some people are still, you haven't realized that you're now in this pond, but you're still trying to catch fish in this other lake over here, and that lake ain't even a part of you need to be fishing in this pond right now. Mm-hmm. And just because you could fish in that lake 20 years ago, that lake ain't for you no more. This pond is for you right now.
I find this very ironic, because at the beginning of this conversation, or kind of close to the beginning, we were talking about Steve Harvey's daughter. And I was pretty much saying the same thing you're saying right now, Q, as far as she's going to blow an opportunity with this guy right here that she can land and be good with. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying it's kind of
no. I see where you're trying to go, man. Hold on. What I was saying, I know what you're saying, Terry.
What she wanted. That wasn't that time.
Exactly.
The advice can't be just go and settle and make it work. Like that's not good relationship advice.
She's not settling.
She would have been had she stayed if that's not what she really wanted to do. But if she just looks at him as a cash cow and a fucking retirement plan, what kind of love is that? Like,
Terry, all I'm saying, Terry, is I don't want to hear from Lori Harvey 15 years from now talking about how men ain't this.
I don't think we're gonna have to worry about Lori Harvey finding another man.
You don't know. You don't know. No, you don't know. You do not know. That's
Vivica Fox is one. Look at Vivica Fox.
Vivica Fox. Thank you.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Big point. Yes. all the men she's been with.
Vivica Fox was prettier than Lori Harvey.
Yes.
In her heyday.
Yes.
And now
why
she's
she
a bitter
do
old
plastic,
woman.
I don't know, but
you're a bitter old woman now.
You can be choosy.
Bitter old man hating woman.
You can be all of those things. Of course, for every action, there's going to be an equal reaction. So if you're not putting it out there, don't expect for it to come back in return. But like, I can't. I will never co-sign on. Oh well, you got to hurry up and find you a man between like 20 and 29, because if you don't get one, then you just ain't gonna have one. Like no,
it's a different pool.
It's just when I
just think, focus on your security first.
Nikki, hold on. Let me say this, Nikki, too. You again understand your pool. So right. The men who are marriage material, typically what age are they looking to get married? See, a lot of
Early.
men who get older, you get some men when they get older and they say they settle down, they're like, all right, I'm finally ready.
Like 30s, right? Aren't most men ready by or want by mid 30s? I don't know.
I'm saying,
Maybe
but I'm
10
saying
years ago.
there's a larger
Nowadays,
portion of men
it's
who are
different.
ready to get married and get all of that done early. Then when it comes later, you might have some who think like that, and you got a lot of men who they just plan on playing the field for the rest of their life. Or until they get old, till they get like 50, 55, 60. And then they be like, all right, I think I'll find me a young tenderoni and settle down low.
Once
they get crippled, their hip get bad, they be like, I need somebody to take care of me.
He might find him one.
And they tap out too.
Yeah.
They tap out like, I can't take this single life no more. Somebody take me, please.
When they're no longer desirable to the young ones and they only resort is just to be sugar daddy, they're like, let me go and find one I can settle down with. Take care of me when I'm sick.
The older you get, the more seasoned you are, and that, I guess that can go both directions. That can hurt you, and that can maybe harm you. Or that can hurt you, that can help you, depending on what your mentality is.
I had a coworker a few years ago, several years ago. She was like in her 60s. She was actually 60. She got married. She hadn't been married. She got married
at 60.
Yeah.
Okay.
And had successful in her career, had a few homes and things, and she married this guy. He was like a high school sweetheart. They ended up running back into each other, right? But she would not share all her finances.
You get stuck in your own. You get stuck
she was
in
just
your
like,
ways.
you have your separate thing, and I have my separate thing.
So Cameron, then what happens in those situations when she has that mentality? Now she has to find a man who has that same mentality. And that's a smaller pool of people that you're looking to pull from, because the average person is looking to share what's theirs and yours.
Yeah.
So that's a simple example of how your pool shrinks over time. That's one of those things. And don't even have physical preferences, like he got to be light skin or dark skin. He got to have a good hairline. Your pool just keeps shrinking. You got a tiny little mud puddle that you trying, and then you like, ain't no men around here. Your pool is too small, either because you waited too long, or you too picky, you got too many preferences, or you have this precise idea of how marriage is supposed to work. So now you got to find somebody else with that same precise idea that's going to line up with you, or a simp who don't care what you think and they just let you do whatever you want to.
He ain't got to be a simp now.
I'm saying those are going to be your two options, though.
Right.
Find somebody who thinks like you, or somebody who just don't care and they're easy to run over.
My man said a mud puddle.
He did. And it's like a mud puddle out here.
Yeah, and
we got 2 minutes left. Keep going. Go ahead.
It's just that got to have that. You got to have that youth still in you. You know what I'm saying? That optimism, like you got in your youth, man. You know what I'm saying? People getting into their mid 30s, they don't been through some wars. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't trying to.
All right, we finna switch gears for 2 minutes because we ain't gonna talk about this too long. Terry, what you think?
It's gonna be a short conversation.
Kids don't belong at drag shows. They don't belong at Hooters either. There was a lot of conversation about this on the page. So if kids can't go to drag shows, they shouldn't be going to Hooters either. True or false?
False.
Should kids be even going to Hooters? The little kids need to go to Hooters? What's are they the same? Are they different? If they're not the same, how are they different?
Should the state make that, or should
it honestly, this is one of those calls where it just comes down to what you believe in and what you're willing to accept and take. If you're asking me personally, me being a man, if my boy is there, of course I'm gonna take my son to Hooters to be like, just to see his reaction. Of course, that's a man thing. That's just me. But if it's my daughter, then I'd be like, okay, baby, you don't need to be doing this. There's other options in the world for you to do. I'm going to go ahead and just be honest. I'm just being honest. I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But as far as the drag thing, nah, man, leave that there. Just leave it where it's at. That is an adult situation that kids don't need to be exposed to right now. That's just me. I know it's hypocritical.
But how's it any different? How's it any different than taking your son to the restaurant and there's tits and ass hanging all out over the place? How's it any different?
Because eventually one day he will be chasing tits and ass. So I got to prime
You
him.
would hope
And
so.
just-
What if he's
and-
not?
No. I mean, no.
He might be chasing drag queens.
I mean,
He ain't gonna be
Howard,
chasing.
you know, it's like, this is like
not gonna
the
do that.
perfect double
don't know
standard.
that. You can't say that there.
I know. Look. That little dude right there. I know what he's chasing.
Okay, you
But
saying
e-
that.
but
Say
even
you
with-
have another child a year from now. You can't say what that child is.
No,
is gonna have preference to.
let me say it this way. But the thing about even with taking him there, yes, I would just be objectifying stuff, yes. But ultimately, I would tell him, I would take this as a learning lesson to teach him not to just be caught up by tits and ass. You can look at it, you can admire it, but don't let it get you off task, and don't let it get you to lose focus of what you need to be doing.
Say it's the same
But
thing
he's
about
there,
the drag
and you're
thing.
focusing-
The drag be
but
like,
you're
hey,
focusing
you
on
No,
what's
know,
there.
we're not even. I can't. I'm sorry. Look, I don't have any problem with anybody doing their own thing. Do what it is you do, but I have boundaries. I have a limit to where I can go, and this is where the limit. That's where it stops for me. I'm not knocking you if you want to do that, by all means, but I'm not for me and mine. No, that's just me.
All right, Edward, is this the same thing? Is taking kids to a drag show the same thing as taking kids and being exposed to something like Hooters? Is that the same?
It can be. There's one thing in common:
don't ride the fence, Edward.
the sexuality. It all comes
Right.
down to the push of the sexuality. If you're willing to expose that, if you're not willing to expose that. Me personally, I wouldn't expose the drag shows mainly for the fact that if I wasn't brought up, or even where I see us today, where I don't push myself to go on the shows, even though I don't disrespect them, I respect them. It's just my thing. If wherever I view, I want my children to view. If I have children, same thing for Hooters. Now I know a time when my father, when he went to Hooters, he didn't care for the women. He just cared for the food.
Yeah,
if I went there for Hooters, I just go for the food. Like if the kids,
My dad never went to
Yeah.
Hooters for the fucking chicken. I
Well,
guarantee you
Okay,
that.
so let me
much.
say this: you got. I can't speak for everybody on here, but you got 4 black men on here, and in my experience, a lot of the women in Hooters don't fit my thickness preference. So that ain't even my focus.
It depends on what city you live in too, because different cities have different women that work at the Hooters, right? But you still are guaranteed to see some boobs and some
you have
butt.
a crazy but true point, Nikki. You have a crazy but true point.
You're guaranteed.
Back in my hometown, yeah, I know a lot of people. They was talking not so kind about the women there, but like I said, when my father went there, he just went just for the food. That's it. He go in there, he orders food, and he go out. He get his stuff to go. That's it. But
Little sneak.
I agree with the
real quick.
statement, not for
I
the
go to fuck
inclusive
yourself.
part of it, but the exclusive part of it. I went to Hooters quite often. I never took my children to Hooters.
Right. Do you
it's
ever?
a thought thing. That's the thing. It's a
as a
thought thing.
parent, like, do you ever, like, when you would be in Hooters, would you ever? I mean, and this is just fucking honesty, right? But like, have you ever looked at parents that were in Hooters with their kids and been like, why do you let your kids in here? Because I do. I would. Me personally, I would. Of all the places we can eat chicken at, why you gotta like? But this is me. I'm not engaging my children in anything that's pushing a certain sexuality or sexualizing people or
And for
normalizing
me, let me say
sexuality.
this: I don't even think Hooters is not really even over the top to me. They just got short shorts and
But where else can you go to restaurants and be served like that? There's only certain restaurants where you're going to
They got good wing. Twin Peaks also.
Twin Peaks. You know, they don't call it Twin
Daddies.
Peaks for nothing.
You can go to Bone Daddies.
Right. So you go to those certain places, and it's generally not because they have this phenomenal fucking chef. You go.
No, I go because I want some ribs. I really go to Hooters for the wings.
Be that as it may, when you have options. You know, it's like, oh, I'm gonna have my kids today. Maybe I'll go to Pluckers today. Maybe I'll go to
the Chili's. I go to the Chili's right next door before I go to the Twin. Only time I go to Twin Peaks is when they watching UFC.
Right. Same here. But I wouldn't take my kids because it's just that's not what I want to That's not what I'm trying to introduce my children to. When I can go to, like you said, Chili's right next door. I can go to another restaurant. Doesn't matter where we go, but choosing to go to a place where skin and seductiveness and sexuality is
But
a
I
part
don't
of
think it's
your
over
meal.
sexual though. Like if I take my kids to the pool this summer, they're gonna see more at the pool than they gonna see at Hooters.
Right,
I don't even look at it being overly sexual at Hooters.
And that's
And they toned it. And they toned the image down over the years too.
Conversation comes from.
You said they toned it down over the years.
Yeah, they toned the image down a little bit over because back in the day, that was the thing. Nowadays, not a lot of people talk about Hooters these days.
Not in that way.
Yeah.
No, they talk about ojos locos.
Yeah.
What's that? I ain't been there. What's that? What's that?
Oh well, we need to go.
There's another restaurant similar. I don't know if y'all heard of Twin Peaks.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. Twin Peaks.
Yeah, we go to Twin Peaks and watch the UFC fights.
Oh, they got Bombshells is a little. They
little bitty skinny
ass,
young ass girls with boobs and butts, and that's fine to have. Again, it's the double standard conversation. People feel so incensed about children being exposed to drag queens, but they'll take their kids to places like this, or they'll expose their kids to sexuality in other ways. But the minute that you throw drag on top of it, a man in a dress or whatever, all of a sudden people lose their mind.
It's not the exact same thing. The girls at Hooters are not dancing and twerking and doing. There's certain things that's added on that can make a difference.
Sure. But just something as simple as, they had that big old huge ordeal where they were having drag queens go into the library and like read books to kids.
That's weird to me.
Well, and it's representation, right? It's trying to be inclusive, and there was a lot of people who were not feeling that whatsoever. So a man reading children's books, people felt some type of way about that.
I'm sorry, that's just crossing the line, because you don't see no strippers out there at the library talking about.
So that's a good association to make. So, boom, is it the same thing? You wouldn't have strippers in there reading books. Why would you have?
I agree. I say overall, if it's one side or the other, then I wouldn't have them at either.
Right. Exactly. And that's where I am. Like I don't think sexualizing children in any level is cool. I don't like, even we watched the new Buzz Lightyear movie yesterday, and people are like up in fucking arms because the first 5-10 minutes of the show you learn that Buzz's spoiler alert, you learn that Buzz's space ranger partner, homegirl, whatever, she's gay, and people are fucking losing it. Now, on one hand, the only problem I have is, why is this relevant to a kid's movie? Like,
right.
What does this have to do with Buzz Lightyear? Like, yes, of course, people have relationships. I mean, there's just so many ways that they could have just kept the movie be what the movie is. Why are we introducing our children to these things?
Always agendas involved.
Yeah,
social engineering.
The only relationship with Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. Those only relationship things that I can think of that was in the movie or the series or whatever.
Well, I mean, you go back to cartoons, then the skunk was chasing after the.
I'm talking about Disney.
Bugs Bunny. They were. Yeah,
the Toy Story.
So any immersion of sexuality in children's movies, I think, is completely disgusting, really, because that's a grown-up thing. Kids don't fucking know. You put this in there for adults, and you slid this in there, and I am okay with normalizing relationships outside of society's norm. I am, but I'm not okay with sexualizing
seem a little low
children.
When you stick it in, and you stick it in there for kids and and not only that, you're doing it in a way and in a space that the average parent isn't prepared for. What if a parent is not wanting to have that conversation with their 4-year-old at that time? You're trying. I think a lot of these agendas are trying to force conversations even outside of the parents' timing. And even when you have a movie like that, now it's like, oh shoot, dude, is this something that I have to talk about now? I didn't want to talk to my child about this for another 2 or 3 years, or until they
goes off the schedule.
Exactly. It messes up.
Though, right?
But you're not supposed to go through a Buzz Lightyear movie and be blindsided by that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, I just don't like that. If it had a history, if it started out like that, you can continue it. But to throw it in there when they hadn't had a history of that type of thing, you know.
It's
Well,
just
this is
why does it's just why does that type of relationship need to be in given to a child at such a young age? So then literally turning it into something like this, why are we taking 4-year-olds to places where you've got very scantily dressed women, where it's very sexually energized types of environments? Like, it's do what you want to do. It's your fucking kids. You can do what you want to do, but let's keep it 100. A lot of the times people don't want to see this is because they don't want to see a man in a fucking dress, and they don't want to have that conversation with their kids. And that's fine. It's totally okay, because you don't have to want to have that conversation. And there is an appropriate time for you to have a conversation. But sometimes now in 2022, our kids are exposed to so much outside of our control. We have to have these conversations probably earlier than we want to.
Okay, I gotta ask a question.
Go for it. Go for it.
And
Go ahead.
we about to get out of here because we 10 minutes past. But can we be accepting of a thing without having to normalize it?
Can we be accepting of something without having
to normalize it? Do we have to normalize men wearing dresses just because some men wear dresses? Can we just accept it? That's what some men do, but agree that it's not the norm, and even possibly agree that that's not what. Well, dang, that might go too far. But just say that that's not what we want to do. We don't want to normalize our kids wearing dresses. Like, can we be accepting of it, but without having to feel like we have to normalize stuff?
Can we? Like, can we?
I don't know.
I don't know. Like, this is my return question to you. Like, I see people who let their boys paint their nails, and maybe they don't feel any type of way about like their kid's sexuality, right? Like, because sometimes you obviously have children and they're like, I paint my nails in high school. Right. So I will paint one hand. We accept that sometimes boys paint their nails, but we don't normalize it. At what point does it become okay?
What I'm saying, maybe you can accept it. I would, whatever, my left hand, I keep my left hand painted. You could accept that, but it wasn't me saying, ain't nothing wrong with me. You need to wear yours like this too. How come you don't do, it's a difference between trying to, for someone to accept it, take it or leave it, whatever, versus me trying to make other people do it and want to like go out of my way to make people have an opinion about it.
Yeah.
Like I go, well, I can do it. Like, I didn't even ask you. Like, why are you asking me? I didn't say nothing about it.
Right.
And that's what I feel like in a lot of these agenda-based things where people are going out of their way to force acceptance or force are you for us or against us type thing. Whereas I don't think it's totally necessary. It can just be like, I accept you for the way you are, but that's not normal to me. That don't mean I'm ishing on you. It just means that that's not normal for me.
So the reason I threw that up, is because on the Facebook page, there's that post.
Bag, so what?
Huh?
Said he's wearing a trash bag. So what?
Well, I made the comment that for me is not sexually attractive as a woman. As a woman who's attractive to masculine men, I said this is not attractive to me. It's just not.
Pants.
So the comment, the feedback that I got was, "What's the problem? Back in 30 years ago, men wore tight shirts and men wore hammer pants." So I was like, okay, one, those aren't hammer pants. Two, that's a very, very slim, tight-fitted tank top. Sure, maybe it's for men. That's fine.
You wore them back in the 80s too, them this.
But he's got it. He topped it off with some pretty pearls, right? Like, so that may be, are we normalizing this? Are we accepting this? It's the same conversation. Like, yeah, it's okay. I'm cool with how a motherfucker want to dress. If you want to wear a dress, you can do that too. If you want to wear pearls, you can do that too. If you want to dress feminine as opposed to masculine, that's fine. I don't care about that either. But to me, that's not attractive. So it's just a personal preference.
So it shouldn't be anybody trying to tell you, yes, it is. It's attractive. It's attractive, Nikki. You need to be attracted by it.
But
And
that
if you're not
You-
attracted by it, then that's
you need
because
to.
you're a
that
phobe.
was the
You're
feedback
phobic.
that I was feeling, that this was accepted 30 years ago. Men 30 years ago dressed like this. It was fine. We should just get over it and just accept that this is how men want to dress now. And that's fine if you want to dress however you want to dress, but it's personal preference. And again, this is personal preference too, but it's like they all kind of fucking go hand in hand. And normalizing versus, what'd you say? Normalizing versus accepting. It just feels like there's so much
Should
cherry
people
picking
be? I
happening
mean,
societally.
also, I mean, if you expose people to certain things, I mean, I think like people live like in certain rural areas, they're not exposed to certain things that people
Sure.
in a more urban
Bigger
area,
city.
you know what I'm saying, they might be exposed to. Because there are people, I mean, there's different cultures, you know what I'm saying, that's out there, you know, not to say that right or wrong, but some people just do things differently, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You know, I mean, can we be in a situation where, you know, I know for some we might see if they're exposed to it, maybe they might try it or something because they see it or whatever, or versus they do something different than I do. You know what I'm saying? You know, do we have a culture that whenever I see something different, I make fun of it, or you know what I'm saying? And so I can know it's a fine line on what is you should be exposed to and things of that nature, but I do think educating our children, that's going to be an ongoing thing, and certain things you might not have to wait, because you can have two parents come to the school, whatever they go to school at, and they actually come back to you and actually, not to say that I'm not saying that they should have done that in the movie, but I'm just saying those type of things that we might have to educate our kids.
Definitely need to do that. Yeah. I mean, schools are doing that anyway, causing parents to have these conversations way too early. They're teaching kids about masturbation in kindergarten. Like, come on now. I mean, the deviance is at an all-time high, and even with Hooters, to go back.
Let you know how many
Hooters,
perverts in high places when
Straight
they do
up.
that, and then
Straight
other
up.
people don't even step in and say nothing about it.
It's the truth. I mean,
that's why I do appreciate Republicans in rural areas, because they step up. They're like, "Nah, y'all ain't doing that stuff. Y'all ain't doing that here. It ain't about to happen."
Not this town.
They put their foot down. Like, I ain't teaching my kids to,
everybody just flock. They just leave them places and go to the cities where they can.
Terry, what were you saying, sir?
Oh no, you're right. You're right. I'm just saying it's deviance, and I was going back to what Nikki was saying earlier with the Hooters thing. Even that's a form of deviance, because a woman shouldn't be out there showing all her goods for everything like that. We shouldn't be doing like that. But to have kids in there, it is a form of deviance as well. You know, we just need to call it for what it is. But the thing about it is we've been desensitized so much over time, over a slow period of time, that we've slowly accepted it. So now everything that we've accepted doesn't mean that it's right. I mean, but I'm back with what Q says. I mean, if someone wants to be in drag or whatever, I can accept you for you. I don't agree with everything you do, but that doesn't make me like you or dislike you or anything like that. I mean, it's just you do you, and you have your lifestyle. Because like, I'm sure there's some things about me that other people would say, nah, I can't do that. And it is what it is. Just don't force whatever your beliefs are on other people. Just let folks accept you.
Sure. I think that's fair for everybody.
I'm one of those persons. Number one, I'm a practicing Christian, and I don't believe we should have prayer in schools.
Well, prayer is actually allowed if it's student led.
Right.
If it's student led.
And I'm actually cool with that. With student led. But
don't make my kids pray. We're not doing that.
And I don't know what type of Jesus you believe in versus me. I'm like, I don't you could be trying to pray the black off of my kids. Pray that they skin lighten up. You don't know what people praying about. So I'm like, I
wouldn't want the school telling my kids how to pray at all. Like, never. And that's not because we don't do that, but because like you said, I don't know what your belief system is and how, like, think about all the white teachers who have, been at the control for the last,
and religion is extremely dangerous
decades
because
and
there's a
decades,
level of control that comes into religion also.
How many racist teachers you have at school?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
There's just certain things
gotta-
not what
I
the
don't
topic.
overlook the fact that how racism played a major part in controlling black people. I mean, even racism masked in religion, and that's it has its place, but it's just dangerous. Is dangerous, and I'm very careful about wanting my kids to experience certain things that it can be manipulating later on down the road, and then it takes so long for them to what's the word, unbrainwash, and that's a whole nother process.
But I think your question, I think that's like almost the bottom line is, can we normalize something? And do we normalize something and accept it? Are those the same thing? Normalizing it and accepting it.
Can we get to a place we accept it, but not feel like we're forced to normalize it?
Yeah, I like that. I don't know if that makes it like that's like a high. What's the fucking word I'm looking for? If that's like a contradiction, do those two things contradict? Do those two actions contradict each other?
I know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
I know, and that's like literally I'm asking myself that. I'm sorry, Edward. What were you saying?
No, I was just saying, just don't shove the agenda. That's the whole point. Never.
But that's
shove
what
the
agenda is, though. It's going to be shoved.
Yeah.
See, this is as a free thinker, and then we close. As a free thinker, this is my problem with a lot of that stuff, whether it's the LGBTQ agenda or certain religious agendas. If you really, my issue is so many people will try to make everyone else get on board with them in order to validate how they feel or they view it. So a lot of times, if you gay and you proud, be gay and proud and free as you want to be. The type of gay people I don't like is the gay people who always constantly look for validation from everybody else. Me, who ain't a straight man, ain't got nothing to do with you, ain't said nothing, ain't hated on you and nothing. You will go out of your way to force validation from me. And it's like, if you are secure enough in your own skin, you don't need anybody else's validation. You just need to make sure that the government protects your rights like every other human being. But when you have these groups that feel like we gotta send drag people to kindergarten, like you're trying to, you're doing it with adults, you starting early, you're looking for assurance in your lifestyle based off of everybody else's validation. That's what I despise.
But I would think that I'd like to try to see things from different perspectives and things like that, try to understand things or whatever. But I had to actually teach about this one and I was just reading it, and I just gotten so much enlightenment through this. I had to speak. It was like they gave it to me. I'm an educator, and we had to teach this lesson. They gave it to me overnight. I didn't really get a chance to even read through the thing, whatever. But anyway, I was just kind of understanding. It was kind of like a human human rights kind of thing. I think how they see how it is kind of how, and so I think that they want to be accepted in the social structure. You know what I'm saying? Now that's all I'm gonna say. All I'm gonna say about that.
But that's why I was saying the beginning of my statement. I said, as a free thinker, I said that on purpose. If you're a free thinker, a free-minded person, then why are you relying on validation in order in order for reinforcement of your belief? If you believe it, do your research, believe it, and stand on it.
Right.
What Terry think, what Nikki think, me and Nikki hardly ever agree on anything. It don't. But as a free thinker, it's not. I don't feel a need to convert her or make her think like me. I'll rub my opinion against hers, and that's it.
you know, our society is very inclusive, exclusive. We have it's like so certain things are socially acceptable that we won't allow. We have our certain groups, and you only can do this if you in our certain groups. If you wear this, you drive this, and I think that that agenda wants to be in the circle, in the mix of all that, and be accepted. Now, like I said, like you said, it's agenda, putting it in the movie. You know what I'm saying? It's like a marketing placement. It's like placement when you put the placement ads in certain things. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like that's what they're doing. And that's all I'm gonna say. I'm still trying to understand this whole thing, man. You know what I'm saying? I know.
Well, stick around because there's a whole lot more to go.
All right, Nikki, it's almost 10 o'clock. We're gonna wrap up now.
We are going to wrap up, and so next Tuesday we are going to actually have meeting because it got moved to Wednesday. The Tuesday night that we were supposed to do got moved to Wednesday. So we will figure out what our topic is for next week.
Okay.
But we are currently going to start working on 2 different things. So we need people who are interested to volunteer. We are going to do a Freethinkers debate conversation. So we need some people who are interested in actually being part of an actual debate with topics that are selected.
Format. Yeah.
An actual debate format. So we got that coming up in the future. And then we do want to still get about 3 additional men and 3 additional women to involve in just a panel of men asking questions to women and women asking questions to men about why do men blank? Why do women blank? So if you are a man who's interested in asking some questions to women and just getting some honest answers about why do we do some of the things we do, and vice versa, women who want to ask men questions about why y'all do some of this stuff that they do, like, put your name in the hat. Let us know you're interested. Let us know what your questions may be. We do want to start, like I said, get 3 more men and 3 more women who are interested in this topic to just do a panel one night. We'll probably go till 10 o'clock so we get everybody's time and whatnot in there. But we don't want to just do like an open Tuesday. Like, we need 3 men to commit and 3 women to commit to this conversation. So we want to do that pretty soon. So if you're watching and you're like, hell yeah, jump in, let's get it going. And then, like every other Tuesday, man, if you guys got topic ideas or things you want to see us talk about, I personally had a ton more things on the list. So there's so many good conversations going on over on the Facebook page. Do make sure that you join that page. I'm trying to slim down the member list every day and getting rid of some of the bot accounts, but also join us on the YouTube channel as well. And subscribe over there, and just please keep sharing. I absolutely appreciate everybody that shared tonight. I've seen quite a few shares go around. Appreciate you guys. Love y'all. We certainly can't do this without y'all support, but literally hitting the share button and hitting the like button and stuff like that is moving us around this thing called the World Wide Web. And we want to reach more people, so keep sharing, be a part of us. Topic suggestions, anything you got, shoot it to us.
And topic suggestions.
Follow, send us your topic suggestions.
We've been doing it long as we've been doing it. We fight for different ideas for topics. We're always open to what you want to talk about.
We never want to just keep talking about the same thing. So if you guys are sick of hearing about relationships, well, let's talk about something else. If you're sick of hearing about transgender shit, that's fine too. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Coming up a lot. Nikki, what you want to talk about? That comes up quite a bit.
No, it's just
anyway. No. I'm sorry. I'm getting you off track. Go ahead.
No, I just grab topics and I post them on the page. Just hot topic stuff. So follow the page, check out the comments over there, and if you have events or podcasts or things that you like to share with a large group of people, do it over on the Freethinkers group page. And that's it. We'll see y'all next Tuesday. Thanks for watching us tonight, y'all. Thanks for joining us. Hope to see y'all next Tuesday.